Special thanks to all our patrons who support the show every single week. We couldn't do it without you. Head over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast and subscribe today for bonus content, exclusive happy hour live chats, and more. Patrons, you help keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we're so grateful for you. Not a patron yet? Join us today at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Help support the show by using our Amazon affiliate link anytime you shop on Amazon for running gear, food, beverages, or anything else the little gray trucks might bring your way. Just use runeatdrink.net/Amazon anytime you shop. It costs nothing extra. It's only one extra click, and it helps us keep the lights on and the bandwidth flowing. Just go to runeatdrink.net/Amazon, and we thank you for your support.
Hi, friends. This is Allie.
This is Greg.
This is Jack.
This is John.
And this is Bob, and we're from the Rise and Run podcast. You're listening to one of our favorite podcasts featuring two of our favorite people. Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Dana, this is a special edition of our show.
Yeah, we want to say a very special thank you to this bunch of podcasters that are on our episode this week.
We welcome podcasters we love to listen to ourselves on long runs, on short runs, traveling to a runcation, let's say.
I was going to say pretty much all my runs. I love spoken word content.
Mm-hmm. So we can't get enough of it. And one of the podcasts that we listen to is called the Rise and Run podcast. So we welcome the gang from that show. Hosts, welcome to our show, and thank you for having the time to come on our show.
Hi,
guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Yay!
Good to see you.
It's like a Brady Brunch episode if you're listening. If you are
Watching in
the video feed, or if we had
Here's a story.
Yes, if we had 3 more squares, maybe, or Hollywood Squares.
I would say Hollywood Squares and Charles Nelson Riley in the center square.
It was. Sure was.
I don't know.
Well, guys, welcome to the show. Thank you all for coming on this week. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of spoken word, and I love your show. But if you would do us a favor, each of you take just a second to introduce yourselves and tell our listeners a little bit about yourselves individually.
Should we start with Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to go alphabetically by height, are we? Hiya, friends. I'm Bob. I live not far from Dana and Amy.
Yeah.
In about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours north. And I'm a former Army pilot, a former government contractor, a lot of formers in there because now I'm a full-time retired guy. Love Run Disney, fixing to do my 4th dopey, and glad we're here. Thanks.
Thanks, Bob. Let's see.
How about Greg?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Greg. I live in the suburbs of the greater Philadelphia area. I got into running about 2012 or so. I was trying to lose weight for my wedding and oddly fell in love with it, even though the Arnold Schwarzenegger physical fitness tests from back in the 90s scared the Jesus out of me. It's so odd that I'm a runner now when I'm part of a running podcast. But I'm super excited to be here. But when I'm not podcasting, I am a video and audio editor for a medical publishing company that focuses a lot in the fields of ophthalmology, optometry, and dermatology. So if you need cataract surgery, I can recommend somebody for you.
We may have to talk after the show, Greg.
Okay. I can't do the surgery. I'll recommend somebody.
You don't want that.
Disclaimer.
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 You'll try. It's not like he's not going to give it his best shot.
He's got a pocket knife. That'd be fine.
How bad could it go?
And
Yeah, pretty bad.
and those dulcet tones that you just heard, that's Allie. Allie, tell us about yourself.
Hi. Hey, friends. I'm Allie, and I live up in the northern part of the Rise and Run studios in New Hampshire. And yeah, I started running because I got a chronic illness and I wanted to try to do something to get myself healthier. And I enjoy running and eating. And I especially love eating at Disney World. So this is how I got in with all of these friends. And yeah, outside of that, I roller skate for a living, and I do all sorts of fun activities that just bring me joy. So I'm just an all around good time gal.
Roller skating.
Yeah. It's cross training.
I love
There
it.
you go. Yeah.
I loved it as a child of the 80s. Now, Jack.
Hi.
Hi.
So my name is Jack. I have been running since 2018. My first race ever was the Princess Half Marathon at Disney. And I've been so addicted to running that I got into ultras, and I hope to do a 100 miler next December, which I'm really excited about. And then so I recently just moved to Atlanta, somewhat recently. Prior to this move, I was a boat captain at Universal.
Very nice. And
So Atlanta.
Atlanta, my old haunt.
Oh, so in March we have to get her to do the Jeff Galloway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Bob, are you already working on that? You should be
Oh, absolutely.
already working on that
Absolutely,
with
yeah.
her. Yes.
And John, why don't you bring it home for us?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? This is John. I'm from North Jersey, if you guys can't tell. I got started run Disney and events in 2019 because my friend goes, you can run and there's Star Wars races at Disney. I'm like, okay, sign me up. I'm ready to go. So that's how I got started. I'm retired right now, so I'm just being like Bob and doing this podcast thing.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all living your best lives
Mhm.
right now.
Trying.
Brian, that's right.
That's fantastic. You're a man after my own heart. I'm a huge Star Wars
Oh, yes.
nerd. I'll do 13 miles just to get a Star Wars medal. No problem.
We miss those races.
Oh, we do too.
Tell me about it.
Not that we don't love Springtime Surprise, and we know the registration is upon us.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Y'alls.
Yeah. Are you all registering?
I am.
I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. Yep.
Okay, so Greg is. Bob, did you say yes?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
there.
wish.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to actively try to distract myself because I want to so bad, but I know that I shouldn't. My pocketbook knows that I shouldn't. This
Oh,
year.
yeah.
We're well aware. We're the same. We have the same
Disney
temptation.
tax is real.
Blinders on.
Oh no.
Yes. Yes.
But it is absolutely, in a general sense, Disney races, experience-wise, it's worth the money. But I understand that completely. So
yes.
We just need all your listeners to go buy Allie's roller skates.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you'll
Absolutely.
be set to runcation wherever you want, right?
Mhm.
How did you all get the idea of the show for the podcast? How did that come to fruition? Whose
brainchild?
whose brainchild was it?
I'll
Well,
let Bob answer this one because I think he's got the good answer.
yeah.
Okay.
There are lots of pieces and parts. It starts with Facebook. It starts with Facebook groups. It goes to customized training and Zoom calls. But the bottom line is, much like Dana, I love listening to spoken word when I'm out running, whether it's a Audible book or podcast, Run, Eat, Drink, I've listened to on many occasions. But I really love running at Disney, and I really wanted to hear people talking about running at Disney. And I found there was kind of a vacuum there. There are lots of Disney podcasts, really excellent, lots of running podcasts, but there really wasn't one that just focused in on running at Disney. And I had met these friends through a variety of places on Facebook. The first one I met in person was Greg. We met at a run outside of Philadelphia. The others I met at Disney World. We all got together because of one of those common threads. One thing we did before we started the podcast is that with the Facebook groups, we had Zoom chats every other week. And these folks here were very active in the Zoom chat. So when I decided, let's give this a go, these are the people, and boy did I luck out. I'll tell you. This crew's been awesome. It was great. We're missing two tonight, by the way. We don't want to leave them out. Alicia and Lexi are not here, but I got lucky. So that's really how it started. I said, let's do this. I remember we had fun. We messed around, and I said, we're going to pull the trigger. Let's go. Biggest thing that keeps people from doing podcasts is they never start. I said, let's go. First one's going to stink, but we're doing it anyway. And the rest is history.
And can you believe our most popular episode is that Thanksgiving episode? I swear.
Wow, Jack, we're only 12 minutes in the recording, and you're already throwing shade at me. I love it.
No, because it's just a quiet, nice little episode. It's a running joke.
It's an inside
I love
joke.
you, Jack.
Love you.
It's an inside joke. We have one particular.
We were 6 episodes in. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
6 episodes in, and something happened on Thanksgiving. A Thanksgiving episode.
It's our lowest ranking episode of all time, and we don't really know why, but it's become this running joke that it's everyone's favorite episode.
Even though it's one of our most heartfelt episodes, I feel
It really
is. But
we were so thankful for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't know what our lowest ranking episode would be.
I don't know. It's always a tough one when you start pushing episodes out around the holidays, though.
That is true.
That's it. That's right.
And you go, how's this going to go? And when we do video, we used to be a video podcast before we went to audio
Back
only.
in the day.
And that was special, trying to get those edited and out, and
I'll bet.
around the holidays especially. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, I believe you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you guys been podcasting, and in your current iteration or in any other proto forms before this? Like, when did you guys start?
First episode was released October 22nd, 2021. I remember it because that's my wedding anniversary, but we weren't recording that night.
Okay.
But that's when we released. Greg takes a couple days to edit, and that thing went out then. So yeah, we've done 99 episodes. We'll do number 100 this week.
Congratulations on your 100th episode. Hey. As of the night that we are recording this, we've lost track, I think.
We have the official count, and then we have some other things that were thrown in. So we had our episodes, and then we have what we call quick bites.
Yes.
So those don't really count, but they count.
Sure, they count. Sure. Well, you guys been at this 4 or 5 years?
Going on 7.
Going on year 7. Yeah.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of running.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but I remember when I met you two the first time.
Oh, tell the story, Bob.
Yes, it's appropriate.
It was at Jeff's. It was the first time I did Jeff's run in person. And I missed this. They had after the 5K, there's a brewery right at the finish line. It's maybe 200 yards away finish line.
Orpheus Brewing.
Yeah. And they would sell tickets, and for, I don't know, it was a fair price. I forget what it was. And you got 3 brews, or I forget, but it was nice. And we'd all head up there after the 5K. And it was nasty weather. Remember, we were all bundled up. Everybody's got their clothes
cold and raining.
Yeah. Everybody got their layers shoved in a corner somewhere. They were wet.
Yes.
And I'd known neither Amy nor Dana at that point, but it was Jeff's 5th anniversary run, I believe. And here they come. They've got microphone and camera, I think. Said,
oh, yes.
Hey, leave a message for Jeff for his 5th run. I said, okay.
He was so nice. Some people were like, "You're going to put a camera in my face?" No, thank you.
See, that's probably what got this podcast started. See, you lit the fire in me with that little interview right there.
Oh, it was before. Yeah. Now
But that
that
was
you
the
say
first
how long
time.
you've been going, that's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
But,
true.
and then we've met several times since.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times. Good times. Okay. Your podcast is available everywhere, I imagine. Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all of the things. All of the, what do you call them? Podcatchers.
Podcatchers.
Right? Okay. So we want to know, what is a great long run episode? We're headed out there. We're doing something approaching a dopey length run. What is a good long run episode of your show, and why is that the one you would choose for us to download and go out the door with?
Well, I got one. I really episode 88, which was when Martinez Evans came on for his book. And I love it because it just keeps me motivated the whole time. And he just talks about what it is to be a runner, how everyone should be inclusive in the run community, and how to motivate yourself, what some mantras you can tell yourself as you're running, what to do if you hit walls, and just all the different things, all the different layers that you need to get yourself to the finish line. And I love that, as especially like going into, like you said, a dopey or something like that. As you start to hit those long runs, 10 miles and up, you start to question where you are in your training and what your motivation is. You're like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yes.
You do need like having a little spark of inspiration to keep you going. So that's why I chose that one.
So Martinez Evans, he does
300 pounds in running.
300 pounds
Yep.
in running. Yes. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And he's like a brand new author, and he's an awesome run coach. If you don't know him, definitely check him out because he is awesome.
Yay.
Yeah.
I will take this question from the most literal sense possible, just because I want to be able to provide the best long run. Our longest episode is episode 55. It comes in at just under 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
Wow.
Yeah.
The rewind episode with Brittany Charbonneau.
No. So this episode had a little bit of everything, which I also why I think it's a really good episode. It has controversy, so it has a little bit of drama.
I know what this is.
We talked about, that was the week Run Disney dropped the fact that they were going to do the virtual queue for the first day of the expo merch.
Oh, yeah.
So
First day only.
We had a little internal debate about that, whether or not we thought it was a good idea or not. Then we had our friends Chris Twiggs and Chris Turner, who talked to Galloway Pacers for the Run Disney event. So that was super, super insightful. And then similar to what we're doing right now is, Grant, maybe you were the inspiration as to where Bob came up with this idea. We started talking to other podcasters that we listened to on our long runs. And we had Mike Rallman on from the Be Our Guest podcast.
Yes. Yes.
So, and of course, he's a fantastic interview as well. So when you pieced all of those things together, you have 2 hours and 40 minutes of a half marathon of running entertainment.
I remember
I think
this
it probably
episode.
took you about 6 hours to edit that one.
Yes, because I remember the controversy of the queue. And Mike is always a great interview on any episode, wherever he is.
Absolutely.
So he's fantastic.
You know, guys, when we started out, we targeted 45 minutes per episode.
I was going to ask you what your general
We
goal.
targeted 30 to 45 because it falls in with the Galloway weekday runs. We
Makes
thought
sense.
this would be a good time. That lasted about 3 episodes.
And now what I know you know this statistic probably if you're going through everything. What is your average length?
Oh, God.
I don't know exactly, but a good guess. I'm in the ballpark with an hour 45.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying.
Too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how do you normally break down your episodes? Is there a format that you, for those who haven't listened and need to listen?
Yeah, there is. We typically begin, being the professional podcasters we are, we begin with the A block. we chat amongst ourselves. We'll have a topic. Sometimes we go a while, sometimes we don't. We usually have a feature interview, and that's been a lot of fun. We've made so many great friends. I know you do that too, and it's fantastic. We catch up on odds and ends. We do what we call a race report. All of our friends tell us where they've been racing, what they've been doing. we go through and we report on all that, and we pick one of them out for a spotlight. We picked that up about halfway through. I think we've had about 50, close to 60 race report spotlights now. Where we grab one of our random listener friends and ask them to come on and talk about the run they did last week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our format there. It's a block interview, race report spotlight, and happy running.
It's a winning formula.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
So if these are your suggestions for a long run, let's talk a little bit about a pre-race episode. Any suggestions for the best pre-race episode of your show? And
Give
why?
us that juice. Give us the juice.
I got your juice.
Jack has the juice.
Because you know what? We don't talk about Bruno. Episode 22 up there. Oh my gosh. You want some
that's a
Disney
good one.
scandal? Ooh, that one's a fun one.
So episode 22?
I think so. Yeah, I looked at
It was
that.
22, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's early on, yeah.
I was checking my phone, make sure.
So we had an episode where someone's bib got stolen at the expo, and she came on and explained what happened. And the story is crazy from start to finish. And it's just a joy to listen to.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. And it's all this Run Disney insider stuff. And it's just really crazy.
I think it would you'd get in the frame of mind to travel for your race. And you'd be like, okay, when I go to the expo and I pick up my bib, how am I? Security. Let's talk about
what not to do,
security,
exactly.
what not to do. It's like
Put it down. Right.
the lesson, the example. Right?
You got it.
So now Jack had one. Did anybody else in the crew have a good pre-race episode, or that is the hallmark you're saying?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Greg. No, you go ahead.
I would have to say, and this is one of our most downloaded episodes ever.
I already know what you're going to talk about. Yes, too. Yeah.
Yep. And this doesn't apply to everybody, but we had the balloon ladies on.
Yay! Oh, yeah.
And it was one of those things where there are just so many myths and legends out there about the balloon ladies. And the fact, and just, it rips our hearts apart that there are so many people in our community, you know, I'm just talking the general Run Disney community, who are just literally terrified of these beautiful, beautiful ladies. And we wanted to have them on to be able to get the answer straight from the horse's mouth about what their purpose is and how wonderfully motivating they are. And being able to dispel those rumors and offer the advice and, again, just get everyone on the straight and narrow so that even if you do come across them in the run, as long as you keep up with them, you're going to be okay. And it's one of those things where we want to have them back, you know, so often because they're such wonderful people.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where what else would we talk about? Because they do serve, you know, one purpose, but it's an important purpose. But if you wanted to hear about the logistics and needing that information for those of us who are backup packers, it's a great episode to listen to.
And also for those people out there that like to costume at races, it is not funny.
No.
To costume as the balloon ladies.
I'm
just
going
to put that out there.
It's not funny.
No,
yeah.
That's frowned upon.
Bob, is that exactly what you were going to say, or were you going to say something different?
Well, no, I wasn't. That's a great pick, Greg. I was going to go back to Allie's episode where she talked about Martinez. And just because he's such a positive, motivational, he's so energetic and encouraging. That's the one for me that I would play pregame. But Allie had a good point too when she brought it up earlier.
Yeah. Anytime you can listen to Martinez's buttery baritone voice doing anything, it is a good day. And we have multiple episodes with him on it as well. We had him on twice as a guest. So we were able to very luckily have he's so positive and he's such a wonderful, like, again, if you haven't heard of him or if anyone who's listening hasn't heard of him yet, go now to those episodes and listen to him. He's great.
The other one you can't top is we had Jeff Galloway on right before marathon weekend last year.
Oh, yeah.
And he gives all the tips, those last minute marathon tips and advice. You can't go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong with any episode with Jeff. Is a positive, uplifting, get you in the mood to participate in any race weekend. It does not matter.
Yeah, the last time we had him on the show was he had been out of the hospital from his cardiac events and was on the mend, and he was
Talking about
phenomenal. His time at Peachtree.
Yeah, his time at Peachtree, and then the movement of his race from that cold December when we first met Bob to St. Patrick's Day. All of a
when
sudden,
it's nice and warm.
yeah, and we can't wait to get back to that. We need to make up for missing that this year.
Oh, you
So,
missed it this year?
Yeah, we were sick. Yeah,
I'm sorry that you were sick.
I got
But
a
they
bout
moved
of
it to when it was-
norovirus. Yeah, that was
I'm sorry
not
about
fun.
that.
yeah.
But they moved it to that nice warm March day where it was 19 degrees when we started.
It was so warm, right? What were you going to do with the humidity? Did you have those towels from the Run Disney races?
I had
That you
no
got?
idea what to do.
Listen, as long as it's not a typical Atlanta spring where you can see the green mist in the air, I'm fine. That's
Your allergies say thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Does anybody else have this problem?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have tissues in every pocket.
Yes.
Just
all
taste the
all
pollen.
the things. All the things. Just taste the pollen. See the pollen. Do the pollen. What? Okay. So, what episode would you say gets somebody hooked? Okay. I see you have Bob. How many episodes? Bob, Greg, how many episodes in total do you have?
99.
99, and you're coming to 100. So if I look at 99 and I get overwhelmed and I'm like, oh, okay, I just need to choose one to see if this podcast is my thing. What will it be?
Obviously, it's a Thanksgiving Day episode. Go ahead.
It's
Go ahead.
Jack's choice, right?
Jackie had something.
It's
Yeah.
our shortest episode. I looked, it's 31 minutes.
That's the one.
If you want to get an episode that really truly gets you hooked, go for. I know I keep saying the earlier episodes. I love our newer ones too, but our first time having Brittany Charbonneau on, it's episode 15, and she was talking about winning all 4 of the races at Disney during marathon weekend. It was just magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what? I almost picked that one myself too, because she's an awesome, funny,
Yeah.
just wonderfully motivational guest too.
Yep.
No, me three as well too. We just had her on. She was our guest on episode 99.
Right.
Oh,
And one of the things that we always tell her about is, and I think why we have such a special bond with her is because I think it was the first time in the podcast history that we were nervous as a collective group.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I can vividly remember it. I chatted with everybody, and I was sitting on the Magic Kingdom ferry going back to the TTC, crafting this Instagram message to this world-class athlete who just made Run Disney history, and we're barely 10 episodes in. And I'm like, she's never going to respond to us. And darn it, she did. She came on the very next week when we were all back. And again, there was those nerves setting in of, okay, we made sure that we had all of our ducks in a row with the questions that we were going to ask and making sure that we had our credentials right because she's a North Face athlete. And it was 3 minutes into the interview that we knew she was just one of us.
Yeah.
And it was from that moment on, we've just had this special bond. And every time she's on, she always has something so profound to say that positively impacts all of us and our community that she is your hook, line, and sinker.
She's so wonderful because so these guys actually surprised me with Brittany coming on when I had run the Lake Sonoma 50 miler and she had won that same race that same day. And I was like, she's like the sweetest person and the most kindest person you will ever meet. And her stories are so good.
Yeah, for sure. I had a different take on it. I went with, because I love, and Jack, we say this all the time too, is I love the episodes that we're on together where we don't have a guest and it's just us talking because we laugh so hard and we just like goof off so hard. So I went with the Ask Us Anything episode 50, where we just went off the rails, like being silly. And that stuff to me that's who we are. We chat all day, every day, and we just are really great friends. And I love those ones that kind of show like our friendship together.
Your connection as a
Mhm.
group. It's always
Yeah.
nice. It's always nice. We've never done an Ask Me Anything. I don't
No,
ask us anything. Would it go off the rails, do you think?
It probably would. We've done enough we take whatever questions come our way during our live streams.
That's true. That's fair.
And those tend to go off the rails, especially if we go later.
That's true. And if you give me hot sauce.
I'm going to go. Can I go one more direction, Amy? And
Yes.
I'm cheating a little bit.
Yes.
I listen to all of our episodes. I'm sure you do on yours also. You pick up on things. After Marathon Weekend this year, 2023, we had 3 episodes. I know you asked which one. We had 3 episodes in a row that if some first timers asked me, what should I listen to get to episode 69, we had the marathon winner on. Katie, I can't remember her last name. It starts with a G.
Yeah.
Cardullo. Yeah. Katie
Yeah.
Cardullo. Awesome interview. Episode 70, we had Taryn on.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Taryn is a Run Disney enthusiast. We didn't know it. Taryn was a fan of the episode before we got in touch with her, of the podcast before we got in touch with her. So she was excited. She's a former WWE wrestler. Is it WWE, John? Did I get that right?
She was TNA, was probably her bigger events, but yeah.
So she's a former professional wrestler. She's a professional stunt woman, and she was just delightful. 69, we had the marathon winner. 70, we had Taryn. 71, we had an episode we called Conquering Cancer, where we have a cancer survivor with us, and then a young woman, a friend of the podcast, who, and this, I talk about motivational. This young woman knew she had breast cancer, knew she needed surgery, told the docs, nope, I'm running dopey first. And the docs said, when is that? And they said, okay, we can do that. It's only a couple more weeks. We can do that. So she shows up at the hospital. She's got her 6 medals. They're ready to roll her into the operating room. They say, well, we need to find some place to put these. And Jennifer's her name. Jennifer says, oh, I don't think so. They're coming with me. So those 3 episodes back to back to back, I'm really proud of those 3.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say all of you have already talked about what your favorite interview that you've ever done would be? Because you have highlighted some big ones.
Not quite.
No?
No.
No, I don't
And
think
it's pretty
so.
clear.
Okay.
Episode 54, we had the Run, Eat, Drink podcast crew on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. Yep.
Come on. Oh. Which we absolutely loved doing.
I was going to say, thank heavens for low standards. I
Oh,
swear.
yeah.
I love you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
That was easy. That was a no-brainer.
Why would we
throw those
possibly
softballs
be
out.
your favorite episode, really?
Yeah. The other ones that we had were fun, were behind the scenes, and the gang knows about these.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't have these episode numbers in front of me, but Carissa and John were with us not that long ago. It was a little while ago. It was during the run season. And Riley was supposed to be there too. But Riley couldn't get in. Technical problems. We tried recording on Zoom. We tried everything. Riley couldn't get in.
Aww.
So for 30 minutes, we chatted with Carissa and John while Riley's trying to get in.
Mhm.
That was fun. We enjoyed that. The other one, we had a crew. Golly, was there? You remember, Jack? How many did the? It was 5 or 6 of them.
It was 5, and
That's
technically
right.
6 because Chad was pacing.
Chad,
Mhm.
yeah. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, Chad's files didn't upload for some reason. But
Oh.
Dean, Jamie, Adam,
Tony.
Tony, and Chris Twigs.
Yep.
And they talked about the Keys 100 this last May. Oh, my God. It was a horribly hot day.
Doesn't that sound like one you want to get out there and
You want to do it, right? You want to do an ultra? That's the one.
I'll tell you, Twigs won't do it. He won't do it again.
Oh,
Chris-
his
Chris
story
will-
is so funny, though.
He will not do it again. But what was really fun was after we pressed the stop button, we had them on for 45 minutes. After we pressed the stop button, then they cut loose. Oh, man, we wish we had that stuff. And I made
Sometimes
the
that
comment,
happened.
I wish we had it. And they said, what? We don't want this stuff going out. That was a
Yes.
fun one also.
Yeah.
Oh, Dean's
favorite-
hysterical
so
anyway.
go ahead.
I love him.
We talked with Dean about the Keys 100.
Oh, yeah.
And oh boy.
No.
He's registered for next year.
I know. I saw that. I saw his post about
He
that.
is,
I'm like,
yeah.
really?
Yep.
A glutton for punishment, huh?
Absolutely.
No, it's an experience I think no other in Ultra would be. And in the Keys, I
Really
love
hot.
really hot, but I love the Keys though. Especially.
I believe absolutely. They're gorgeous. But
Yeah.
that particular weekend, I think it was the hottest 100 they'd run.
Yeah. And was it Jamie's fourth attempt or fifth attempt?
It's multiple times.
Yeah.
Times, yeah.
Yeah, this was his first time finishing too.
And he made it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
I remember
did
him
amazing.
talking about that, Dean. Yeah. Okay, we must turn to topics of running, eating, and drinking since that is our
Dick.
namesake, if you will.
Had a show, yeah.
We have a show like that.
It kind of in
Fair.
the title. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's on brand.
It's a thing. It's runcationing is a thing. What is for each of you? What is a can't miss destination race?
And it doesn't have to be Run Disney. Of course it can
No.
be, but whatever comes to mind.
Something that the members of the Runcation Nation community should look into putting on their bucket list.
Well, I thought for running, eating, and drinking, there's nothing there's nowhere you can go that's like New Orleans.
Ooh.
So for me, that's my favorite spot to go runcation run in.
New Orleans. Is there a specific race there?
I did. God, what's
Allie.
that one with the rock and roll? That's the one
Rock
that I
and
did.
roll, yeah.
Yeah, rock and roll.
I did the half. Someone did a full. And I used to live in New Orleans. And so it was really nice to be able to run in my old neighborhood and run through all of these parts of the city that you don't normally get to run all the way through. And it goes through the entire city pretty much. It's pretty awesome. I don't know specifically if that one's still running anymore, but there's definitely a lot of different runs during that time. I just would avoid the summertime in New Orleans.
100%.
A little
100%.
hot and humid.
Much like Florida.
Boy, it's humid.
Yes. Who else has got a destination? Jack, are you?
I've ran at Disney a lot. And I've started going to other races too, but I feel like I'm still needing to expand my horizons a little bit. So this year I'm running the Las Vegas half marathon with rock and roll.
Nice.
I'm looking into the rock and roll DC half marathon in March.
Ooh.
But if I had to recommend one, you don't necessarily have to be an ultra runner for this. I'm just gonna say it. Lake Sonoma 50 miler was my ultimate favorite race outside of Disney, probably pretty close second to Chicago marathon. But I will say with Lake Sonoma, you don't have to run an ultra. There is a marathon distance as well. And you get to see the same exact route as the 50 milers because the 50 milers just do a there and back. You just have to go to a there. You know what I mean? You don't have no back. And it's some of the most gorgeous scenery I think I've ever been able to run through.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Okay,
And
so
you had a delicacy during that race too that you had never had before as well.
Oh, yeah. So get this, you guys. I had at the aid stations, I had my first peanut butter and jelly.
wait a minute now.
Like your first
Hold up.
ever?
Yeah, because as a kid, for whatever reason, I didn't like the idea of peanut butter, so I never put it with my jelly sandwiches. So I have my
You had jelly
sandwich.
sandwiches?
I've had jelly sandwiches. So sometimes when I was a kid and we went to McDonald's, I was like, I don't like McDonald's, even though I never had it. So then my mom and dad would just bring me a jelly sandwich while they go eat their McDonald's.
No peanut
I
butter.
love that so
No
much. I've never heard of a jelly sandwich before.
Sure.
The combination of peanut butter and jelly, I will say, not a fan, but they do what they need to do for races.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Except when they're a little dried up, because that was an experience.
Yeah, I don't know when you get like one of those goos and it's just like a cake flavor and you just
It's hard to swallow and almost warm going down. Jack, I'm going to say give them a shot. Uncrustables.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I should pack that for my next one.
You
just saying.
freeze them.
Yeah,
You
and
take
then
them out
they-
of the freezer.
Yeah,
They're great on a run.
they are.
That
It is
sounds
true.
Yeah, they're a good ratio. They're not dry. They're definitely like a good amount of jelly.
And I think it would
Important.
be solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, do you have a must-do destination?
Disney.
Which one, though? Which one? Which race?
Actually, the best race weekend is marathon weekend.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just the excitement, that the people. It's just the best one I've been at. So I've never did Princess, so I can't say that. But out of everything else, this was the one.
Yeah.
Is that opinion shared unanimously?
Oh
amongst
yeah.
the-
If I had to choose the race, marathon weekend would be the race. But if I had to choose a non-Disney race, it would be Lake Sonoma.
Okay.
Yeah. Marathon weekend's a vibe.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's magical.
Greg?
For me, it's actually the race that I have coming up next,
Ooh.
and that is the Bird in Hand Half Marathon.
Oh, September.
I was gonna say
yeah.
that.
In Lancaster County. It definitely checks off the run and eat boxes, not necessarily the drink, because I don't think the Amish are big drinkers, but
No.
it is one of those things where I've been kicking myself because, again, I've been running for over a decade now, and I only discovered this race personally 3 years ago. And it is such a sense of community, not only for just the town of Bird in Hand, but also Lancaster County, but then from our community in terms of Run Disney and beyond. It is just a mixture of so many different melting pots. The fact that I learned about through Coach Twiggs and the Galloway Customized Training Program, the fact that Chris himself drives up from Jacksonville for that race. We had several people coming from Atlanta and like the DC area, and now for this year, the fact that we have just waxed poetic about this race on the podcast for the last 2 years. There is such a large contingent of people between the Extra Mile podcast, which is the ones who have really put this race on the map. You throw the Galloway Customized Training Program in there. Now you have Rise and Run talking about it. It's just Bob ran it with me last year. Him and his wife flew up for it. It is extremely picturesque. The fact that there's barely any power lines on the race, it goes to just.
Wait, you like a race without power lines?
Yeah, I know. It's funny. It's funny you say that. But this race has everything. It's got cornfields, hills, cows, camels. But then one of the best parts about it, though, is the post-race spread. They have these massive tents, and they do a traditional Amish barbecue. And it doesn't matter if you're registered for the race, or as John can tell you, you just come as a spectator. Everyone is welcome to this picnic. And between the ribs and the sausage and the chicken and everything that it is just, it's like when you finish a really long run, that first thing you eat is the most glorious thing you have ever tasted.
Yes.
Mix that with salty Amish meats, and it's a marriage made in heaven. Then you get some shoe fly pie at the end, and it's just awesome. So, yeah, if your listeners are looking for an early fall race, or I should say late summer race, technically, and you live up here in the Northeast, definitely check out Bird in Hand.
That was, we were supposed to run that one last year.
I know. Yes.
And we had to forego that one. So that one's on our list.
All right, next year.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Yes. We're thinking 2024.
Yeah.
2024 will be because we hear the metal. I don't know what shoe fly pie is, but I would love to know. I've heard potato salad is classic there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
And actually, the one thing, and I know this is maybe a question we might talk a little bit down the road, is what's so unique about it is the metal is a horseshoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
They come up with these little placards and they weld them onto an actual horseshoe. So everybody's race medal is technically a different size, which is hysterical because I put my two horseshoes next to each other and completely different sizes from year to year. And then and even funnier as well, too, is they also partner with the Garden City Half Marathon, which I think happens in March. And if you do those two races together, you get this special award. It's called the Golden Apple Award. Oh. And There's a whole thing about it in their race program, and this is no joke. Because of all the horse and buggies around, they go and they collect the manure and they clean it up and then they bronze it and they stick it on a plaque. So if you do those 2 races in the same year, you get the Golden Apple Award. And my friend Nate, who paced me the first year, was even though this course is one of the hilliest courses I've ever been on, it's actually my half marathon course. And when he was telling me about this award, I'm like, you know, so you really do give 2 shits about this race. and I figuratively and literally. And he goes, you're absolutely right.
Okay, I have so many questions.
Yes, right? Go ahead.
Is this, you said it's cleaned up. Is it crafted to be in the shape of an apple before they bronze
I have not earned it, but
So you don't
when I
know.
saw them sitting on the table, it's not exactly like an apple. No.
I think they call them road apples. I
Road
think that's
apples.
Yeah,
the
they
like
call them road apples.
That's where it comes
where
from?
it comes from.
Oh,
Yeah.
so has nothing to do with apples,
No.
really.
Not really. No.
Okay. We have so many questions about this race weekend that we should definitely do it.
It's a good one. It's an excellent destination race.
But we have to train for more hills than we have in South Florida, though, right?
It's very similar to Jeff's race in Atlanta in terms of hills.
Okay, that's not too bad.
How's the time limit?
It's generous. I don't know what it is, but it's generous.
Okay. As long as we can make it to the party with the food that has been so aptly
Exactly.
described here today. Bob, do you agree or do you have a different choice?
I think of those that I know of, I think Greg made a great choice. That would be one. And hey, guys, we got a couple excellent ones right here.
We do.
Gasparilla is definitely a destination run. If you're not in the Tampa, in the bad part of Gasparilla is it's the weekend of the princess runs at Disney
Yes.
World. But yeah, they run
Every
4 races.
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
They run 4 races. It's right along Tampa Bay. Beautiful run.
Yes.
Great expo.
It is.
That expo's gotten better and better over
Every
the
year.
years. And I'm with you. I think it's one of the best races you can come to in Florida.
Yeah.
I think the worst part of it, you said it's the conflict with the Disney race. The worst part for me is the fact that you have no idea what to plan for the weather.
That is true.
It
Fair.
could be either way.
We've run it in absolutely every condition imaginable.
Rain and humid and hot and just like
Freezing.
Yeah, doesn't matter. So it's the weather. It's the weather.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the running is done, we've heard a little bit about what you might like to explore in terms of eating. So it doesn't have to be from the race that you have named as the must do. But if there is a must do favorite meal from any race weekend, make our listeners hungry. Make them hungry. What should we go get? Where is it?
It's that little tin of cheese that's in the box after the Disney run.
The plastic cheese.
The plastic cheese.
The plastic cheese.
Wasn't there a very big controversy once where they took
yeah.
out the cheese?
For
There was
about
no
a year.
cheese.
For about a year, they replaced it with hummus.
Yeah.
They cut the cheese.
They cut the cheese. Very good. But no joke. It was 3 or 4 races. I don't remember specifically.
Yes.
It was in the middle of a season that they
Terrible.
went from the cheese to the hummus.
No.
I take the blue box. I get on the bus. I'm with my wife. I open it up and the cheese is back. And I literally, yes. And the funny thing is the people in the area knew exactly what I was talking about.
It's the cheese. The cheese is back. The cheese is returned.
We were sitting at the after party in the reunification area, and we were hearing people talking about the fact the cheese was back.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love it.
Now we need to get the chips back because digging that cheese out with the pretzels isn't quite working.
Yeah. No.
But real answer, I'm going to go Disney, and I don't really have a go-to post-race meal, but I really like trying to get myself to a brunch somewhere. Art Smith has a wonderful brunch. Boma over in the Africa area.
Oh, we've never been.
Oh, you've not done breakfast at Boma?
No.
Oh, yeah. I'll stop right there. I'll drop the mic. That's a great place. Yeah.
What do they have?
Yeah.
It's a breakfast buffet, but they also have some African favorites there, and I don't know what they are, but they're quite good. And the roast ham, roast pork. It's just a really lovely buffet spread there.
If you're a meat eater, you will love this, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but there's more than that. It's excellent. It used to be, for Becky and I, it used to be our go-to last meal at Disney World before we drove away when we were down there for a weekend. But yeah, that's a good one. Art Smith and Boma.
Okay. All right. John, what would you say?
Yeah, I like to I go back to the room. I just have one of those breakfast sandwiches from the food court. That's my thing. But at night, after the race weekend's over, I like to go to Germany, eat the buffet there. Brats and beer, can't go wrong.
Oh, yes. Okay. So we've had Disney destinations so far. Allie, what would you do?
I am always going to continue on the Disney destinations and say I like to go to the Polynesian. And Greg has joined me before, but I would like to invite everybody here to also join us sometime for the Polynesian Breakfast Club. And we just head on over to the Polynesian, and you have a couple different options. So you can go to the Kona Cafe and you can get yourself some tonga toast, which is basically like a French toast cube that is coated in sugar and deep fried with a fruit compote on top, or you can also get like a caramel drizzle. I like to get the Loco Moco, which it's kind of like a rice dish it's a vegan dish the way they do it, but it's a sausage gravy on top. And then they add some pico de gallo and some just egg. And it's just like all the things I want to eat after a race. But you can also go to Captain Cook's and get a bunch of different breakfast options there too. So then we just take those and we sit on the beach and we listen to Hawaiian music and look at the Magic Kingdom. And it's just a really nice thing to do after the race weekends.
Yes.
We just got
also,
back from...
you can get coffee and bring that too. They have a Joffrey's there at the Polynesian.
Yeah, we just got back from the Poly a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to keep riding the Polynesian train.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to shift from breakfast to lunch. This has been a go-to staple for me and my family the last couple of trips that we've gone. And because, to be honest, we're not the biggest fans of quick service in Magic Kingdom. Polynesia is where we own our DVC, so we'll just either take the boat or the monorail over to the Poly, go to Captain Cook's. They have this plate of pulled pork nachos.
Oh, yeah.
That are like wonton chips and potato chips. And then they have pulled pork, pineapple salsa, and then it's like drizzled with a spicy mayo on top. It is the true definition of chef's kiss. So that's one of my favorite things to get.
Very nice.
Oh, I like it.
Have not had that.
We need to have that.
Yeah.
Now we have to go back.
Jack, what do you got for us?
John took mine, so I've been sitting here trying to think. There's so many restaurants. Okay, so besides Beer Garden, I would choose Le Cellier over in Canada because their steak is so good and their mushroom risotto with it.
Ooh.
It is really hard to beat Le Cellier.
It is.
It really is.
It's so good.
There was a big debate here about Le Cellier versus the Yachtsman.
Oh, yes.
For a long time.
I've never been to the Yachtsman.
There was a time I would have put the Yachtsman above. Anymore, I think, post-pandemic, I think Le Cellier is now the winner, or at least has pulled ahead.
I think. Yeah.
Good calls, though.
Yeah.
And if I put out a drink there that you can get at multiple locations around Disney property, the Magical Star, my friends, you really need to go out there and try it. It's so wonderful. And it comes out with a light up cube. I mean, how cute and cool is that?
Well, what is that?
I don't know that one, Jack.
Jack, can you tell us about it?
So it's nice and fruity. But I don't drink too often, but it's just a nice and fruity drink. Although, do you guys know the little restaurant on the lake in Coronado?
Three Bridges?
Three Bridges.
Yeah, Three Bridges. I will also put out there, if you're looking for some drinks, their sangria flight is really good. It's like only $22,
is.
$23 for 4 glasses of sangria. It's really good.
It's a good tip. And also, what is it? Their corn dip? Their corn,
Oh yeah, that corn dip is
Oh my
to die
gosh.
for.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. It's just, shut up. Let's have some more. Get your own.
So good.
Get your
So
own.
good.
That's all I'm saying. So Jack started to talk about beverages.
Beverages, yes.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask now, this might be great Disney insider information. If you guys, you don't have to keep it to Disney, but if you do, what are some of your favorite indulgent beverages that you guys like to indulge in post-race?
For me, now, I will say drinking and Run Disney, I actually didn't really start doing that until this past Springtime Surprise. And it was in line for a drink when I first met the two of you for the first time at Springtime Surprise. I got the pineapple cider that they always have.
Oh, yes.
And that is really, really delicious. I have yet to cross a finish line with beverage in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope in the next couple of years I can change that. But I would say my other go-to,
It's a goal.
and I'm not even going to try it because I would butcher the name. But, and granted, I know the alcohol level on it is very, very low. But that grapefruit beer that they serve in
the
Germany,
Schafferhofer.
yeah, that just hits the spot after, immediately after a run. Now, go back to your resort and relax for a little bit, then I'm probably going to go out and look for some type of old fashioned or get, Bob has treated me to a margarita from Chose a Day Margarita. I still need to get the Neil Patrick Harris one. I think that's the next one on my bucket list that I want to get. But but definitely those two fruity beers for sure.
Schafferhofer is a favorite of ours.
Oh, yeah.
It's low ABV, I think 3%.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Is where it comes in. But a great hot weather beer, great post-run. Not going to knock you on your butt.
No.
So.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for, and what is it? It was a smoked Manhattan that we had at Shula's.
Yes. Smoked Manhattan.
So good.
But I've already told my wife that once our ADR is open up for marathon weekend, similar to what John and Jack have already talked about, I want my victory meal this marathon weekend to be going to Beer Garden, just eating pretzel bread and beer cheese soup, and getting grapefruit beer. I will be a happy, happy camper.
Sounds amazing. Oh, yes. Yes. So now let's see. We have talked to Greg about this. We have. Jack, is that the one that you would say? You kicked us off without us asking the question.
I would stick with my answers. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
John, would you say beer is the beverage of choice?
Actually, it's vitamin T is the beverage of choice. I like to go to get some tequila at La Cava Tequila.
Oh, yes.
So
Nice choice.
Trying to get in there now is a little tough.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You can't. Patience, I guess.
Hey, they might start offering lightning lanes for La Cava. You never know.
Would you
Don't put it
pay?
past Disney.
Hey,
an
don't-
individual lightning lane,
Right?
Tempt
They would make
them.
so much money.
Would you pay for an individual lightning lane for La Cava del Tequila?
It's only the cost of a margarita.
Right? No. Bob would say no. Bob, what would you do?
I like it. I like that place.
I do too.
And in the same light, the American Pavilion needs a bourbon bar.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
But that's the national spirit.
It is.
I know.
Yes.
Exactly. Everybody thinks, it's only Kentucky, but it is America.
That's
It
right.
is-
Bourbon has to be distilled in America. That's right.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, 1964. Lyndon Johnson signed it into law. It's the national spirit of the United States. Bourbon is. And you got La Cava in Mexico. You've got the wine cellar in Italy. Why is there not a bourbon bar in the U.S.?
Exactly.
Mike, not secret, but Tipsy Ducks in Love, the Joy of Tea Pavilion at China, outside of China, makes a drink called Tipsy Ducks in Love, which features, of course, bourbon. We like it, okay? But the amusing part to it is I had a lot of times I'll fall in with somebody during a race, especially a long race. And I fell in with a friend, Mary, at the marathon coming out of Animal Kingdom, about 17, 18 miles, whatever it was. And that was kind of fun. I started talking to this woman, and we're about the same pace, and we walked together for, half a mile or so. And I told her what I was doing. I said, "You want to do the rest of the race together? Why not?" And she goes, "Yeah, let's do that." And I said, "I'm Bob." She says, "I know who you are." Thought that was kind of funny. So we finished, and I said, "Hey, for helping me out, I'm going to treat you to a Tipsy Ducks in Love here." What they do is they make the drink. It's already made up, and they pour it out of one of those spigots. The machines are going in the back. And then they take the bourbon, they take Jim Beam, and pour it on the top. I know this. I know that what you need to do is take the straw and stir it up, okay? Mary does not know this.
Oh.
So
Oh, no.
I take one, I hand her one.
Oh, no.
And she did not like it.
Mary now knows this.
He knows it now. And I doubt that she's had another. But Tipsy Ducks in Love. Fact is, it is pretty good. It's made with, we make them here at the house. We got the recipe made with coffee, tea, chocolate syrup, a little bit of cream, and bourbon.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
have to try that one because that sounds sounds like it's up my alley.
And
no, you can make it at the house. You can find Tipsy Ducks in Love. You can find the recipe online.
Good to know.
All right.
We can do a little taste testing at home.
Exactly. For science.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
That's
for
right.
science.
That's right. There you go.
Science.
Allie,
Yes.
what you got for us?
Yes.
All right. Well, I will pause for gasps because I think that alcohol tastes gross. So
That's okay.
It's okay.
We don't just do
yeah.
alcoholic beverages.
We've had plenty of people
I'm
who
gonna
are.
go with the Disney classic and go with the Dole Whip float, which
Oh.
is just a Dole Whip ice cream
Yes.
resting peacefully in a blissful, serene pineapple juice cup. And it's the best. I think like after a race, that's what I want to put in my body is pineapple juice and pineapple ice cream. So that's what I chose.
Yes.
That's a great pick. I was going to ask you, are you partial to the pineapple flavor? Because they've done some Dole Whips with other flavors in
Watermelon?
recent
They have.
years.
Watermelon.
The
lime.
watermelon is good. I love the Hey cone, which is the raspberry and pineapple swirl. Like I feel like that combination to me is the tops.
And Allie loves it so much that when we all went to Typhoon Lagoon after Springtime Surprise, she had 2 of them in one afternoon. And so that's not a stamp of approval. I don't know what is.
I've never
I
heard
would
of
have
it.
had 3, but
You would have had 3, but what happened? Did you run out of time?
it got a bellyache, to be honest.
Too
But
much
I
sugar.
love them so much. And it comes, that particular one comes with a little teeny hey, I don't know what they call that rooster goobly on the top of his head, but it comes with like a strip of like sour candy too.
Oh,
And 2 little like icing eyeballs. It's kind of awesome. So that's my favorite Dole Whip, but I like the Dole Whip float, especially refreshing when you want a beverage.
Nice.
Can't go wrong.
Nice. Okay, we're going to talk about some bling, right? We should.
Got to.
We should talk about your favorite bling from any race.
You guys know this one because I've seen you there. Space Coast is hard to beat.
Largest.
Space Coast medals are so big that I do not hang them on my rack. I put them on my bookshelf. That's how big. And I love those. And that one that we got at the end of the Man in Space series of the shuttle, which would cover your face if you held it up in front of you. Great bling. Space Coast gets my vote.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You,
You know the stands that they
zigged when I
use
thought you
to
were going to
hold up
zag.
commemorative plates? Do
Yeah.
you like like that
You
kind of
could.
thing?
You could.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. But at least the one of them, the Saturn V, is big enough. It stands up on its own.
Oh my gosh.
It's got like a base at the bottom. If you put it around your neck, you won't leave it there more than 5 minutes. These things are huge.
It's like wearing all the bling from a Run Disney weekend, only in one.
Right.
I got it. Yeah. So, John, what bling is your favorite?
We actually talked about this on the podcast. I think it was maybe last week or the week
Yeah, it
before.
wasn't long, yeah.
It's the 2023 2022 marathon weekend set, the rose gold colors, the 50th anniversary ones,
Mm.
and the dopey medal. That was my first dopey.
Mm.
Aw.
The rose gold looks good.
Yeah.
It really does.
And if it's your first huge accomplishment in a category, like doing all of the challenges, much like the dopey is just, I can't even imagine, then I think it would have also sentimental value or an emotional connection to that bling. But Jack, what would you say?
So I would say I feel like you're always attached to your first ever medal you've ever had, and I would say the 2018 Disney Princess Half Marathon. It was a Snow White themed. It was gold and red and sparkly, and it was just beautiful. And it was an anniversary year, and I will never forget my first time ever running. And I feel like it just has that sentimental core memory. There we go.
Like a core memory. There you go. An Inside Out reference. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. Allie.
I am also on the same train as John. I love those rose gold medals. And that was the first year that I did dopey.
Ooh.
And I feel like it was the first year I did a marathon, because I did the marathon the year before when they cut the race course short, the Disney marathon. So even though my watch said I did a marathon, it never really hit my heart. And so that felt a lot like a comeback, and my first attempt at a marathon was completed. So I'm very, very partial to those.
Greg?
I'll join the train of the 2020 Rose Gold set. That year I did Goofy, so it was my first marathon, and so very sentimental value. But I'll go with something Run Disney adjacent. But unfortunately, the race series doesn't happen anymore. One of my favorite half marathons ever was the Hershey Half Marathon, and in good old Chocolate Town, USA. And they had some really gorgeous medals. And the year I ran, it was just like this really nice Hershey Kiss medal. I mean, it had all the texturing, so it made it look like it was truly tinfoil.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Stuff like that. Yeah, it was so neat. But unfortunately, a couple of years after I did it, they just stopped doing the races. And every year I wish they would come back. But they had some really awesome medals during that time.
And this is not to be confused with the hot chocolate series.
Yes.
Right.
It was just.
I mean, and what was great about this race was that you got access to your registration included 2 tickets to Hershey Park itself. You could go to Chocolate World, which is free for anybody. So each time you ride the Chocolate World ride, you get a free piece of chocolate. And then there was even multiple places on the race course, similar to like mile 23 or so of the Disney Marathon. They would just be passing out handfuls of chocolate as your sweet treat during the race. It was perfect.
That sounds glorious.
Yes, it does.
I would love that.
Yes.
All right. So we've talked a lot about races from the past. We want to know what's next for you guys. Real quick, let our listeners know where you guys are going to be accomplishing, exploring, and indulging next. John, let's start with you.
Okay, so my next event up on the schedule for me is Wine and Dine Weekend.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
That's my next goal race. And then following that is marathon.
So you're doing all the races at Wine and Dine, or?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
He's
Throw it
gonna
in
be
there.
there.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You're there.
Wine,
Right?
not.
Wine.
I got it.
Wine.
Yep.
Wine. Yes.
I see what you're doing there.
Or no, I can't. I just like, Jack, where are you going next? What are you doing next?
Well, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I am doing all the races at Wine and Dine.
Good.
I'm doing Goofy. I'm doing all the races at Disneyland. And then I am running the Rock and Roll Half Marathon we mentioned her earlier, but I'm running it with Taryn.
Nice.
Very cool.
Allie?
I am going to be doing the half at Wine and Dine, and I'm going to be doing Goofy at Marathon Weekend. And before that, I'll be doing Ghost Train in New Hampshire. I'm probably just going to be doing like the minimum amount that you can run. I think that's like 15 miles, and just see where that's an ultra up to 100.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I recently had a lot of just like a bout of like crazy things happening in my life. I like broke my hand. I got food poisoning. I got sick. I just missed a whole lot of training. So I'm not going to try for an ultra now, but I am going to be there, and I'll probably like pace some people because I know some people are going, and try to do my best, but I don't want to injure myself before any of these things.
No.
But that
Right.
race is really cool. They have some of the best race course support that I've ever seen. And I know we're talking on a Run, Eat, Drink podcast. Just talk about eating. Like they'll make you anything you want at any of those aid stations. It's incredible.
Wow.
Like
I've
the
heard
things
that-
that people were asking for. They're just like, can I have a grilled cheese and ham sandwich? And
Ooh.
yeah, absolutely. And they just make one up for you. And they just had everything available. It
We've
was
heard that
incredible.
ultras are the way to go.
They are, because Allie is right. Like, you go to an aid station and sometimes it's, oh my gosh, yes. This is where my money went to, the food.
Yeah.
And you're also
all
like
worth
running through the night. So it's like you'll get like breakfast, and then you'll have like lunch and then dinner ready. And then, at the end, they'll have all sorts of different stuff for you to indulge in. It's pretty awesome. Makes it almost worth running 100 miles.
Almost. Greg, where are you going next?
So I am actually the only host of Rise and Run that will not be at Wine and Dine. But like I mentioned before, I have Birdhand Half Marathon coming up in a few short weeks here. Then I'm going to be doing the Rehoboth Beach Half Marathon as a catered training run for Marathon Weekend. And then for Marathon Weekend itself, I'm ratcheting things down this year. So I'm, as we always like to say, just doing the 10K and the half marathon. And then hopefully as of Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday morning, I hopefully will be doing the Springtime Surprise Challenge.
Well, fingers crossed for you in the
Yes.
registration process.
Yes.
We know that's a marathon in and of itself.
Yes.
It is.
Bob.
It is.
Been battling injuries for 3 years. Been doing a lot of walking. I can only laugh because it's been so many things. Started really feeling my oats here a couple weeks ago. Did a nice little 7-mile walk run event on a Saturday morning. Broke my toe Saturday afternoon. So that was 6 weeks ago. I start training again. I have been training. I've been doing aqua jogging. If you want to do an aqua jogging episode, I can give you an hour on that, but let's move on. I should be able to start moving again next week. Okay. Coming up, there's a series of runs in the St. Pete area. There are 5 of them. Earlier in the year, they said, hey, if you sign up for all 5, we'll give you a 20% discount. How can you pass that up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it starts at Fort DeSoto in September. And I think it ends, I forget, it ends next spring sometime. There are 5 races in there. And the St. Pete runs really are pretty nice. I plan to do, I'll be at Space Coast again, South Half. Will I see you there?
It's Space Coast.
Yeah.
When we haven't registered.
We've not registered.
No.
So it may be
we're
sold
having to
out,
we're still having to play things by ear with Amy's dad's recovery, so we're in a holding pattern right now.
Yeah.
It would be, yeah, I understand. I absolutely understand. But it'd be nice to see you if you're going to be there. I'll be at Jeff's race, of course, in March.
Well,
As far as Disney's concerned, my plan is to run every race every weekend this year.
Wow.
Whoa.
And Dopey occurs, it would be my 4th Dopey. Dopey occurs 10 days after I turn 70 years old. So I am very excited about that.
Does that include Disneyland, Bob?
Never. I have not been to Disneyland since 1976. So I won't be going, and I won't be going in January after.
Okay.
No, I'm just doing the races at Disney World. Good question. I hope to go next year. I hope to go 2025, actually. I hope to get out there. I think that'd be neat.
Yeah.
We couldn't get registered for Wine and Dine, but we were able to get in for the Dumbo.
That's good.
So
I hope you have a great time. That's fantastic.
So
We got a
we'll
bunch
see.
of folks going out there, a bunch of friends. Jack's going to be there.
Aw.
excellent.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We
That's great.
we used to do the Star Wars races and the Avengers races out
Yeah.
there.
Love
and
them.
They were fantastic. So
Yeah.
it's a
I
totally
wanted to
different
do
feel.
Avengers so bad.
I know they still owe us 3, Jack. They still owe us 3 Infinity Stones.
No kidding.
I understand that end game is the end of it and whatever. But you still owe us 3 stones, infinity stones. So get with it, Disneyland. Run Disney. Let's go. We just want it. We want we always say you're bling driven. I'm also, in this case. Yes.
Well, do you have the time stone yet? Did that one go on a medal? Because I feel like maybe this is something that
I don't remember.
Space, yes.
I think there was space. I think there was power.
The yellow one.
The
Reality? No, Mind Stone.
Mind Stone.
Yeah. All right. Maybe they're just making it so that your medal can then go back in time or something.
Maybe. Who knows? But
if they would have done all that series, we would have been there for everyone. Single one.
Everyone. I don't care. Yeah. We want to thank you, all of you, for talking with us on the show. And for being such great supporters. I was just in your Facebook group the other day and somebody asked, I need to refresh my podcast running list. What do you have? And we were on that list, and I am very humbled that we are.
Very kind.
Yeah. And we absolutely love your show. Run Disney gave us the running bug at Wine and Dine.
Oh.
So
back when it was a nighttime race
before our podcast even.
And a relay.
Yeah.
So it's going back a few years.
So we just love it. And we just say thank you to those of you who joined us tonight, to those in your crew that could not join us tonight as well. We love the show. We love all of you. And we hope to accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge along with us. We'll talk to you next time.